her wedding day, a Roman bride wore a special hairstyle referred to as the seni crines. Today, it is also known as the sex crines. The Romans believed the seni crines to be their most ancient female hairstyle. It was symbolic of marital chastity. The seni crines was also worn by Rome's Vestal Virgin priestesses. It is probable that each Roman family had its own unique way of dressing the seni crines for its brides. The bridal seni crines may have been constructed from 6 braids or strands of hair, but this is not absolutely certain. The bridal seni crines demonstrated here is a 6-braid simplification of the hairstyle depicted on a Vestal Virgin portrait in the Uffizi Gallery at Florence, Italy. Vestal imagery must serve as our principal visual source material because all ancient depictions of Roman brides show their heads fully veiled. Only the simplest tools and techniques were necessary to dress the bridal seni crines. Combs, hair bodkins, a cloth band called a vita, and a special tool was used to part the bride's hair, a spear point. This symbolically charged object is called a hosta caelabaris, or celibate spear. Festus, the ancient Roman grammarian, claims that the spear points used to dress the hair of brides would have been planted in the body of a gladiator who had been thrown aside and killed. He goes on to say that the spear predicts the bride will bring forth brave men. Let's begin. Pre-sectioning the hair helps in later steps. With the spear point, mark out the top sections of the seni crines as diagrammed. Fix each with a hair bodkin. Plutarch, in his Roman Questions 87, asks, "Why do the Romans part the hair of brides with the point of a spear?" He answers this question with more questions. Does the parting of the hair with a spear symbolize the marriages by violence and war of the first Roman wives? Or does the Roman bride, through the symbolism of the spear, learn to value a simple, unaffected mode of beautification, as does the brave and warlike man she will marry? Or does the parting of the bride's hair with a spear symbolize the permanence of the marriage itself, implying that only steel could end such a union? Or is it because the spear is sacred to the goddess Juno, protector of marriage? The first pair of braids will be constructed in the green labeled sections. Release the green labeled section on the left-hand side, then weave an outside augmenting braid, also known as a cornrow braid, to the top of the ear. When you reach the level of the ear and all the hair has been added to the braid, continue with a free hanging braid to mid-strand. Repeat this sequence in the corresponding section on the opposite side of the head. After finishing the green braid pair, move to the back of the head. Section the hair as diagrammed and weave free hanging braids at the locations marked by the white dots. These braids you will weave all the way to the tips of the hair. The third pair of braids are made by joining diagonal crown and nape sections. This conceals the part lines at the back of the head. First, join the top left section to the right-hand nape section, then braid to the tips of the hair. Now join the top right section to the lower left-hand nape section and braid to the tips of the hair. Like that of the vestals, the bridal seni crines relies on the insertion of a structural vita to control the front hair. Release the front yellow labeled sections. Comb them out. Center the vita at the forehead. The bride assists her ornatrix by holding the vita still while small strands of front hair are sequentially wrapped around the vita on each side of the center part. Once all the hair is wrapped on the first side, the bride holds the vita over the ear while the opposite side is arranged. After both sides of the structural vita are wrapped, pass its ends underneath the 4 back braids and tie it at the nape. Return to the left side. Unravel the ends of the first braid, the one which was woven over the ear. After unraveling the braid, join these unraveled ends with the ends of the front vita hair. 3-strand braid these combined ends to their tips. Repeat this unraveling and rebraiding procedure on the opposite side. There are now a total of 6 braids. Move to the back of the head. Tie each pair of braids into an overhand knot, also known as a 1/2 square knot. With 3 braids in each hand, pull them taut and draw them toward the forehead, and, length permitting, tie the ends into a series of square knots or twist them into a small coiled bun. secure the ends to the top of the head using small hair bodkins. Many Roman brides may have had hair too short to reach all the way to the front, as is done here. It is quite possible that such brides chose to coil their braids into a bun at the nape of the neck, or they may have woven strands of wool ribbon or thread into their braids to increase their length, thus allowing the braids to be fastened at the forehead as done here. Much like today, brides wore special clothes for her wedding day. The Roman bride wore a straight dress called the tunica recta, which she would have woven herself. Her tunica recta was bound at the waist with a belt tied in the nodus herculaneum. This knot, which was notoriously strong and difficult to untie, symbolized the bride's chastity to her husband. Today we know this knot as the square knot. After her hair was dressed, a wreath of fragrant herbs, possibly of marjoram, verbena, or rosemary, was placed on her head. She was then swathed in an orange-yellow veil called a flammeum. This veil shielded her from evil fortune during her transfer from the protection of her paternal gods to those protecting her husband's family. In her saffron shoes, she crossed the threshold with good omens and entered the shining door of her new life.